Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon. Namaskar to all the revered guests, all the erudite panel speakers who spoke on this pertinent topic, to the respected and honorable Vice Chancellor, and all the esteemed guests present on this occasion. I think this is going to be an impromptu talk because I have not prepared for this speech. However, since I'm prepared mostly to talk on different topics, that's part of my job. I am honored and privileged to speak on this topic. Talking about Islam and the Ummah, I think right now there is a sense of despondency among the community at large because the outcome of various elections, the community feels we have been relegated to the background and we are somehow not wanted. So I wanted to share my thoughts on this and try and infuse some kind of an energy, infuse some kind of a motivation that no, we should not give up. We shouldn't feel so disheartened because elections come and go, governments come and go. Today it's a particular party, tomorrow it will be somebody else. And we have to work in tandem of different political parties that have come to the reckoning through a democratic process. So right now, what are we discussing? We are discussing about the challenges being faced by the community, the road ahead. Now, what is the road ahead? Should we hide, ghettoize, feel grief-stricken? No. Or should we come ahead, surge with the mainstream, and look at the bigger challenges that face the community? What exactly? This is something that we need to introspect and think for ourselves. At the moment, do you think that meet, triple talaq, are these pertinent questions? Or are jobs, employment, pushing the community into the mainstream? Do you feel they are more important topics that we need to actually debate and work upon? Please ask me any question whenever, and then I'll be happy to answer your questions. What do you feel? Don't you think that creating jobs, employment, better sanitation, as well as concentrating on urban poverty elevation are areas that we should focus upon? I just want a yes or no. Yes, a resounding yes or no? Yes, right? So hopefully I'll be making the right points. So I feel when the community is feeling challenged, when the community is feeling despondent, and we feel that, okay, what is this happening all around? We know that we are facing a global crisis, okay? But however, we need to understand when we expect the larger community, that is the majority community, to be secular towards the Muslim community, we inherently as people need to practice secularism ourselves. And somewhere down the line, we need to ask ourselves, are we truly secular? Or are we pretending to be secular just because the community is being cornered? That is something we need to really look inwards, introspect, and answer this question for ourselves. Are we truly secular? How many people from the majority community visit your households? Can somebody answer my question? Has anybody from the majority community ever been invited to your house for tea? Do they know how you all stay? What kind of a life do they lead? Yes? Is that a pertinent point, sir? जी साहब, आप बोलिए. अगर आप लोगों को समझ में नहीं आ रहा, I'll be happy to speak in Hindustani and Urdu. आप लोगों को समझ में आ रहा है? Should I continue with English? Yes? Okay. So we need to ask ourselves and look inwards that on the ground, we need to be secular first, not because we are being challenged, A. B, we need to feel secular because we belong to a country which is a truly democratic and secular country. Unless until we don't feel that, it will be very difficult for us to expect the larger community to feel secular towards the Muslim community. So I feel that is the biggest challenge. So I would request all the wonderful thinking, erudite people who are present on this occasion to attend this symposium to please integrate, because that is the biggest challenge we face as of now. Try and keep relationships and friendships with people of all faiths, of all religions. Let's try and understand them, and then only we can expect them to understand us, the Muslim community as well. So I feel this is the biggest challenge. And another thing I'd like to speak from my experience in corporate life. I've spent good 15, 16 years in the corporate field, worked with some of the top multinationals companies across India, as well as corporate houses. People inherently do not look at you with a signboard that this person's name is so and so, this person is Muslim. They don't look at you. They want their job done. They want results. They're result-oriented people. And any business community person, end of the day, wants his business or wants his organization to thrive. So they will actually not look at your name. They will not look at which community they belong from. They will simply look at your performance, and you would be merited based on the performance appraisal cycle that is there in every organization. If you have performed, you'll move ahead, you'll get promoted. If you've not performed, you'll get constructive feedback. As simple as that. So we don't have to take personally and think, oh my God, I've been victimized because I come from the minority community. So I feel it's time we need to get away from this playing victim card, pulling out the victim card. I am from the minority community, so I did not get selected for this interview. I'm from the minority community, so ABCD did not happen. No. We need to really introspect now, because like we said, like I've reiterated earlier, unless until we are not secular, it'll be very difficult for us to expect secularism from the larger community. So let me tell you, it's very important not to play a religion card too much in public. What happens is, supposing we keep reading posts about another community day in, day out, isn't it a little overwhelming when we keep reading, what is this person talking about? I wouldn't like to name any community, but because there are so many issues, there are global issues, there's so many issues. So people will see you, from a broader prism of a perspective rather than a narrow prism of perspective. Arey, this person बहुत ही religious है, ये पूरे वक्त religion की बातें करते रहते हैं. So automatically what happens is, you will get stereotyped as in inverted Muslim candidate. A couple of months back, I was introduced by somebody that meet Saira Shah Halim. She's the voice of the modern Indian Muslim woman. So I corrected that gentleman. I said, kindly don't introduce me as a modern Indian Muslim woman. Introduce me as a modern Indian woman. So I feel we need to overplay our Indian identity card right now at this crucial juncture than the religious identity card. And B, it's important to integrate we have to just drill this to our friends and peers, contemporaries. Integrate. Unless until we don't go ahead and celebrate their festivals like Holi, Diwali, we cannot expect them to come to our house during Ramzan or Eid. Tell me, am I saying anything incorrect? Yes or no? Yes? Yes, gentlemen, women, ladies? So it's very important that as we move along, we keep our faith. However, at the same time, we need to modernize. We need to give our children modern education with scientific thought, reason, and rationality. That needs to be infused with education. I think that is happening in the bridge course also, which the respected Vice Chancellor Sahab has spearheaded. So I feel it's very important now to push our children forward, get them into the mainstream, and emphasis should be made on science, technology. Deen is absolutely important. At the same time, it's important also to develop a well-rounded individual who's excelling in every sphere of life. So I would request the ladies here, because you all are the harbingers of change, that the first talim, the first ilm, the child gets from the home. तभी वो स्कूल जाते हैं जी. सबसे पहले तालीम और इल्म घर से शुरू होता है, घर की शुरुआत है. सो अभी बहुत ही अहम ये एक मुद्दा बन गया है कि किस तरह की आप तालीम दें अपने बच्चों को, ताकि वो आगे जाके ज़माने से लड़ सके हर मुद्दे पे, at every sphere of life. So give the right education, get them into sports, get them into co-curricular activities, invite children of other communities to your house for Eid. Is very important for the larger community to understand that the Muslim community is not narrow-minded as has been largely perceived by the community. We have to harp on tolerance, inclusiveness, and also that Islam was a religion of peace. We do not promote intolerance, and we do not promote violence. I think that signal has to be brought about, and we need to show ourselves in a better light rather than meet triple talaq. Because why should the community get identified with beef? What is it about beef? I think the community has a larger role to play in society. We have been scholars, intellectuals who have contributed immensely towards the freedom struggle. Why aren't we taking the legacy of Maulana Azad forward? Why is Maulana Azad Sahab being relegated in the background? It's important that we talk about legends like that, who have contributed to the freedom struggle, who have contributed to the nation building. That's all I want to say. This has been completely impromptu. Thank you so much to the organizers of this symposium and the respected Vice Chancellor Sahab for giving me this opportunity to share a few thoughts on this pertinent topic. Thank you so much. Have a